morning students, welcome to our English language class. In your previous session, you completed the format of job applications along with the qualifications required for the post of a teacher and a doctor. Today, we'll continue the same topic. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand qualifications required for various jobs and tasks to be performed. Let's begin the class, children. Today, first of all, we'll discuss about air hostess. Children, you all are acquainted with the air hostess. You all know who is an air hostess. The female attendant who ensure the comforts and safety of the passengers in the plane are known as air hostess, while a male attendant is known as steward. These days, air hostess and stewards are called flight attendants. Now, what are the qualifications required for this job? You should be graduate in any stream and you should have a diploma in aviation and hospitality management. Aviation means the flying and operating of aircraft. You should here write down the name of the institute from where you received training. For example, Frankfurt Institute of Air Hostess Training and Air Hostess Academy, etc. Now, what are the tasks that air hostess has to perform? Children, if you have been on a plane, you must have observed what the air hostesses do. For example, they greet the passengers, help passengers find their seat, communicate with and take orders from passengers, prepare food and drink, they conduct safety check, present emergency equipments, guide and give instructions how to use them. So children, you can write, I am experienced in serving passengers and executing flight attendants duties. I have complete knowledge of handling emergency situations and using emergency equipments. I am skilled in using first aid toolkit and other medical equipments when needed. So, these are some of the tasks which a flight attendant has to perform. Let's proceed to the data entry operator. Student, you must have noticed that your school maintains records regarding your date of birth, the class you are studying in, the competition you participated in, as well as your result. Who saves the data in the computer? Who manages all this data? It is the job of a data entry operator. A data entry operator is responsible for entering data into different computer databases and maintains all the records. Now, what are the qualifications required for the post of a data entry operator? You should have postgraduate diploma in computer application after you have done graduation. So children, you can write down here, I am well versed with Microsoft Office, that includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Children, you all are acquainted with these softwares. You are doing practicals because of your subject computer. The most important skill needed for a data entry operator is the typing speed. You should have good typing speed. You can write down here, I possess fast and accurate typing speed. I can type 35 to 40 words per minute. I possess good command over both spoken and written English. I have a great attention to detail. It means I observe things minutely. These are some of the tasks which a data entry operator has to perform. Let's proceed to the accountant. Now, for being an accountant, you should have a complete understanding of accounts and finance related operation. So, the qualification required for being an accountant is BCom and MCom. Further, what are the tasks to be performed by an accountant? What do you mean by financial records? It means all the records related to money. The job of an accountant also includes the task of preparing and completing tax returns. So children, you can write down here, I am experienced in organizing and maintaining financial records. I can prepare and complete tax returns. I can provide auditing services for businesses and individuals. I'm skilled in maintaining and inspecting financial records. So these are some of the tasks performed by an accountant. Next point we are going to discuss is private secretary. Children, a private secretary has to assist a person in the discharge of his daily personal and confidential duties.
Generally, the people who appoint a private secretary are managing director, CEO, president, or vice president in a company.
They are very busy and have a lot of work to do, so they need an assistant to help them in discharging their duties. This is where the job of a private secretary begins. Let's discuss tasks to be performed by a private secretary to a manager. A manager receives various emails, faxes, and posts. Now, who will deal with all this? The private secretary. You can write here, I have thorough knowledge of the profession. I'm skilled in organizing and maintaining diaries and making appointments. Now, sometimes private secretary also has to reply to the emails, faxes, and post on the behalf of the manager. So you can write here, I am adept in dealing with incoming mails, faxes, and posts often correspond on the behalf of the manager. Now, corresponding means communicating by exchanging letters. Now, let's take up a computer engineer. Now, computer engineer can be a software programming engineer or a hardware engineer. Now, what are the qualifications required for being a computer engineer? It is a bachelor degree in computer engineering. You can write down, it can be BTech in computer sciences. It requires sciences with physics, chemistry, and maths in class 12, basically referring to a non-medical stream. Also with graduation, you need post-graduation. You can write MTech in computer science. Now, as a software engineer, you can write, I can design, develop and modify software system. So your first task is to design, develop and modify software system. Sometimes the software is designed according to the requirement of the customer. So you can write down here, I can easily consult with customer about software system, design and maintenance. You can also write, I am well versed in analyzing information to determine, recommend and plan computer, specification and layout. For example, a customer who belongs to a field of business will have different software requirement from the one who uses his computer for making and editing video. So these are some of the tasks performed by software engineer. Now, what are the tasks performed by a hardware computer engineer? Just like software engineer deals with software, hardware engineer deals with hardware. So you can write down here that I can design the production computer hardware equipments. After developing a hardware equipment, a hardware engineer has to make sure that the parts work properly. So you can write down here, I am adept in testing and retesting parts to ensure that they work properly. Like a software engineer, a hardware engineer also needs to recommend appropriate information to his users or customer. So you can write, I can analyze equipments and recommend appropriate hardwares to users. So children, this brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you have understood the qualification required for the various jobs and tasks to be performed. Now your homework is to note down these tables that we have discussed today in your notebooks in the same way as you have noted down the tables for the post of a teacher. Thank you.